Brothers and sisters, when that moment of death comes, there's either one of two scenarios that happen. Either dark angels, black angels from hellfire come into the room with a wrapping from hellfire, and they come where your head is, and they say, "Oh, you bad soul, you evil soul, come out to the anger and wrath of Allah." The soul will freak out, and it will hide in every vein and artery in your body. The angel of death will pull the soul out of your body. The hadith says, like a wet piece of wool in the middle of a bush of thorns. Can you imagine that? Ripping every vein and artery and nerve in your body till the soul comes out. It is wrapped in this wrapping from hellfire, and it ascends to the first sky. The inhabitants of the first sky, the angels, they say, "Who does this filthy soul belong to?" And the angels say, "This is the soul of so-and-so." And they ask permission for the soul to ascend to the second sky, but they are denied permission. And they hear a sound from above saying, "Write their book in the lowest levels." And this soul, brothers and sisters, is left to fall from the sky into the grave. On the contrary, may Allah grant us the other scene. When you are about to die, angels from paradise come into the room with white faces, and they say to the soul, "Come out to the pleasure and happiness of Allah." And the soul comes out of the body, the hadith says, like a drop of water out of a pitcher. It is wrapped in this wrapping of Jannah, and a scent from Jannah is put on top of it. And the soul starts to ascend to the first sky. And all the inhabitants, the angels of the first sky say, "Who does this beautiful soul belong to?" And the angels say, "This is the soul of so-and-so, your name, inshaAllah." And the angels ask permission for the soul to ascend to the second sky, and they are granted permission. The third sky, the fourth sky, all the way up to the seventh sky. And when they reach the seventh sky, they hear a voice that says, "Who does this beautiful soul belong to?" And Allah knows, of course. And the angels say, "This is the soul of so-and-so." And Allah says, "Write their books in the highest level." And the soul ascends back down into the grave, ready for its next journey. As soon as you enter your grave, the grave will squeeze you. That squeeze could be a welcome back home hug, or it could be a squeeze that will break every bone in your body. But it will squeeze you. The grave is dark, very dark, and you are afraid. And at that moment, brothers and sisters, the two ugliest creations of Allah, called Munkir and Nakir, they will walk into your grave. They will sit you up. These angels, Allah had created in a very frightening form. They will sit you up and they will ask you questions. When they sit you up, I want you to feel your heart racing, because you will be terrified. And with their voices like thunder and their eyes like lightning, they will ask you, "Who is your Lord? Who did you submit to?" The mu'min will say, "My Lord is Allah." They will ask, what is your way of life? The mu'min will say, my way of life is Islam, is submission to Allah. And what do you say about the man that was sent to you? You will say, he is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And they will say, sadaqt. You have said the truth. And they will order the grave to widen. And this grave will turn into a garden of paradise. And you will chill. On the other side, may Allah protect us. They will sit you up. And they will ask the same questions. The person will not be able to answer. They will say, I don't know. What's your way of life? I don't know. And the angel will say, kadhabt, you have lied. And the grave will squeeze and tighten, become narrower and darker, till every bone in your body breaks. And they will order the grave to become a pit of hellfire. And the grave will start burning till the day of judgment.
That the soul now will travel. And it'll be in different souls have different stations. If it's a bad soul, then its soul will go to Sijjin, a place called Sijjin, a lowly place where all these souls are being punished. Or it will stay in the grave, it depends on Allah. But it will not leave this world. It may stay even on this earth. Sometimes the soul is maybe not being punished, but it's not a good soul. Allah will not allow it to go above the universe. But if you're a good soul, the soul basically gets a station above. What happens here is Allah will put the soul into Illiyin. If you want to read about this, read Surah Mutaffifin in the 83rd Surah of the Quran. Where the soul will go into, it depends, okay, how high it is. Either Allah will just put it in Illiyin. Now what happens in Illiyin? One hadith describes this. That when this all has happened in the grave, when all this has happened, then Allah allows the soul to be raised. And it goes to Illiyin. When it's coming to Illiyin, your family members, my family members, if we're good souls, they start to ask, now people start to ask in Illiyin, another soul, who is it? And the name says, so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. Your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, whoever they are, your great-grandmother, whoever they are, they will basically come to the front of the doors of Illiyin. They will open their arms to receive you, La ilaha illallah. And you will come and they will grab hold of you. They will hug you. Only if we're good souls. And they will say, according to the hadith come from our Prophet ﷺ, they will say, how is so-and-so in the world? How is your son? How is my other daughter? How is your sister? How is so-and-so? I left them. What is the latest news that's going on in the world? And they will embrace you, grace you, and bring you into Illiyin. Now that's a high station. But Imam al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah said, within Illiyin there are stages. You can be in a very high stage in Illiyin, or you can be in the middle, or you can be in a low stage, depending on your state. And if you go to a very high stage in Illiyin, you've got a lot more room to move around.
The souls do not come back to greet the family members every year. You need to know that. Some people say, okay, every year the soul comes back, Salam alaikum, how are you? Some people say the soul comes back to us and cleans the home. And some people say the soul comes back and does this and does that and I feel it. Those are, jinn sometimes. Those are the devil sometimes. Those are the qareen sometimes. That's something else. Those are spirits, known as spirits in some traditions. But it's not the soul we're talking about. It's not the individual. They don't come back to you and say, hey, how's it guys? Salam alaikum. I remember one person says, I can make your grandfather talk to you. And then the brother says, I went to the man and I said, okay, let me talk to him. And he says, I heard my grandfather's voice. I promise you it was my grandfather. Brother, they are fooling you with the jinn. They're fooling you with all these qareens. Don't be fooled. The souls are gone to a place known as berzahu.